Of the 9 people in the studio here today, only one of them can win up to £10,000. The rest of them will leave with nothing, as round by round they are voted off as the weakest link.
Welcome to the weakest link. Any of the 9 people in the studio here today could win up to £10,000. They don't know each other, however, if they want to win the prize money, they'll have to work as a team, but 8 of them will leave with nothing. As round by round we lose the player voted as the weakest link. Let's meet the team.
I'm John, I'm 52, and I'm a police officer.
Hello, I'm Sophie, I'm 37, and I work at the school reception.
I'm Christian, I'm 22, and I recently graduated from university.
I'm Patrick, I'm 35, and I work at a post office.
Hi, I'm Natalie, I'm 30 years old, and I'm a nurse.
Hello, I'm Gabriel, I'm 19, and I'm a university student.
I'm Francis, I'm 84, and I'm a retired doctor.
My name is Richard, I'm 46, and I'm a lawyer.
I'm Karen, I'm 28, and I'm a sales manager.
Now the rules: in each round you have a target of £1,000. The aim of the game is to answer enough questions correctly to reach your £1,000 target within the time limit. The fastest way to get to your target is to create a chain of 9 correct answers. Get your question wrong, you'll break the chain and lose all the money in that chain, but if you say the word bank before the question is asked, the money is safe, but you'll start a new chain from scratch. Remember, at the end of the round only money that has been banked can be taken forward. In round 1 there are 3 minutes on the clock. We'll start with the person whose name is first alphabetically. And that's you, Christian. Let's play the weakest link. First question is for £20. Start the clock. Christian, the British Broadcasting Corporation is better known as what letter abbreviation?
The BBC.
Correct, Patrick. In which English city did the Beatles form?
London.
Nope, Liverpool. Natalie, which road crossing has the name of an animal related to the horse family?
Zebra.
Correct, Gabriel. Which decade of the 20th century was Michael Jackson born?
1950s.
Correct, Francis. In maths, what's 48 times 2?
96.
Correct, Richard.
Bang.
In supermarkets, milk that has a green label indicates what kind of milk: full fat or semi-skimmed?
Semi-skimmed.
Correct, Karen. La Marseillaise is the national anthem of which European country?
France.
Correct, John. What's the name of the hero whose enemy was called the Sheriff of Nottingham?
Robin Hood.
Correct, Sophie.
Bank.
Which geometric shape has 8 sides?
Octagon.
Correct, Christian. In darts, what is the highest possible score with 3 darts?
180.
Correct, Patrick. In the animal kingdom, are cobras venomous?
No.
Yes. Natalie, which song by Queen has the line "You've got mud on your face, you big disgrace"?
Is it "We Will Rock You"?
Correct, Gabriel. On the pH scale, what number is neutral?
7.
Correct, Francis. Which band had the songs Baggy Trousers, House of Fun, and Our House?
Madness.
Correct, Richard.
Bang.
What's the name of the actor who plays Harry Potter?
I don't know.
Daniel Radcliffe. Karen, if someone is very clumsy, they are all fingers and what?
Thumbs.
Correct, John. The Mystery Machine is from which cartoon?
Pass.
Scooby-Doo, John. Sophie, in geography, Beijing is the capital of which Asian country?
Pass.
China. Christian, how many days are in a leap year?
366.
Correct, Patrick. In a hospital, what does A&E stand for?
Accident and emergency.
Correct, Natalie.
Bank.
What month is Father's Day celebrated?
June.
Correct, Gabriel. The characters Woody and Buzz Lightyear appear in what Pixar film series?
Toy Story.
Correct, Francis. Which sport is Stephen Hendry a famous player?
Snooker.
Correct, Richard.
Bang.
In video games, who is the main villain in the Mario games?
Bowser.
Correct, Karen. In food, an aubergine has what color skin?
Purple.
Time's up. Purple was the correct answer and you were just in time. And you banked a mediocre £450 in that first round. Who is very untrustworthy? Who is already feeling nervous in this first round? One of you is about to leave the studio with absolutely nothing. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
In this first round, Natalie is the strongest link, since she got all of her questions correct and banked some money for the team. Patrick is the weakest link, since he got the most wrong answers. But who does the team want off in this early stage of the game?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Patrick.
Richard.
Patrick.
John.
Richard.
Patrick.
Patrick.
John.
Richard.
John, remind us what you do.
I'm a police officer.
And for how long have you been a police officer?
For 18 years.
And yet you don't know what Scooby-Doo is?
I knew that you were gonna give me grief for getting that question wrong.
You can't really blame me though, because it was popular in your time since you're 52, so you should have definitely known what it is at least.
Well, I guess my mind went blank. I'll try harder in the next round.
Do you think you're going to answer all of your questions correctly in the next round?
Well, I can't say for certain. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
So John, why Patrick?
Because I think he got more wrong than anyone else. So I thought he was the worst player in the round.
Gabriel, so you're an university student.
I'm certainly am.
For how long have you been in university?
Not long at all, just over a year ago.
Not very long indeed. So what are you currently studying?
I'm only studying chemistry right now. I hope to get a job in chemistry, because it's my favorite science subject.
So you should get all chemistry questions right then?
Well, I hope so, because I would look like a right dunce if I don't.
Absolutely. So Gabriel, why are you getting rid of Patrick, who apparently works at a post office?
Because he had a really bad round. He got 2 questions wrong, and one of his questions is about which English city were the Beatles formed. Come on, mate. Everyone knows it's Liverpool.
Well, statistically he was indeed the worst player in that round. Patrick, who thinks cobras are not venomous, and doesn't know where the Beatles were formed. It's time to go back to the post office, because with 4 votes you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I'm absolutely devastated to be voted off in the first round, and I'm dreading the journey back home. I don't think John is going to last very long, because I don't think he's particularly bright at all.
Round 2. You have in the bank £450 so far. There are 8 of you left. We're cutting 10 seconds from the time. We'll start with the strongest link in the last round. And that's Natalie. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Natalie, according to the nursery rhyme, which bridge was falling down?
London Bridge.
Correct, Gabriel. What kind of fruit is a Granny Smith?
Apple.
Correct, Francis. What's the name of the tiger from the Jungle Book?
Shere Khan.
Correct, Richard.
Bang.
Which city in California is the Golden Gate Bridge located?
Los Angeles.
Nope, San Francisco. Karen, in spelling, what letter comes first in the word knowledge?
K.
Correct, John. If the digits on your hands are called fingers, then what are the digits on your feet called?
Pass.
The correct answer is toes, John. Sophie, how many days are in 2 fortnights?
24.
Nope, 28. Christian, in the 1937 Disney movie Snow White, what is the name of the dwarf that's very shy?
Bashful.
Correct, Natalie. Who was the second man to walk on the moon?
Buzz Aldrin.
Correct, Gabriel. Bullfighting is associated to which European country?
Spain.
Correct, Francis.
Bank.
What's the name of the Egyptian creature that has a human head and the body of a lion?
Sphinx.
Correct, Richard.
Bank.
Influenza is shortened to which word?
Flu.
Correct, Karen. Which war began on the 28th of July 1914?
World War I?
Correct, John. What gas is added to fizzy drinks to make them fizzy?
Oxygen.
Nope, carbon dioxide. Sophie, in The Wizard of Oz, what kind of animal was Toto?
A dog.
Correct, Christian. Which currency sign has a S with 2 vertical lines through it?
$1 sign.
Correct, Natalie. In maths, what's 1/4 as a percentage?
25%.
Correct, Gabriel. What G is another name for an iceberg?
Glacier.
Correct, Francis.
Bank.
Is green a primary color?
No.
Correct, Richard. If something is extremely difficult to find, it's like finding a what in a haystack?
A needle.
Correct, Karen. What D is the name of the amusement ride that has people in cars crashing into each other?
Dodgems.
Correct, John. What software company was founded by Bill Gates?
Pass.
Microsoft. Sophie, how many countries are a part of the UK?
Five.
Time's up. The correct answer, which would be surprising to you, Sophie, is 4. And your performance is still very mediocre. You only banked £420 in the second round. Who is a recipe for disaster? Who isn't the sharpest pencil in the packet? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
In the second round, Francis is the strongest link, since he got all of his questions correct and banked the most money for the team. The weakest link is John, because he failed to answer a single question correctly. But can he survive the vote?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Richard.
John.
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 Natalie. What do you do for a living?
I'm a nurse.
How long have you been a nurse?
For 5 years.
When you aren't busy treating patients, what will you be doing in your spare time?
I don't have much spare time, but I usually just watch the telly when I have nothing to do.
What kind of things do you watch on the telly?
Mainly soap operas and medical dramas.
Oh, so that's why you decided to be a nurse.
Yeah. You're probably right.
So Natalie, why John?
I voted for John because he got all of his questions wrong in this round, which is no excuse, because his questions were not difficult. Especially the Microsoft question.
Francis. How old did you say you were?
I'm 84 years old. I was born in 1934.
Wow. I bet you must have a lot of experiences and stories to tell.
Oh yes, indeed I have.
So you said that you were a doctor?
Yup, I was a doctor, but it has been nearly 12 years since I've retired.
Did you enjoy your job as a doctor?
Yes, I did enjoy my job as a doctor, and sometimes I really did miss my job, but I had to retire at some point.
True. Since you've retired, what do you do with your time these days?
I mostly go to clubs and hang out with my old-time friends, and I like to travel.
I see. So Francis, what has John done to upset you?
Well, he didn't get a single question correct in this round, and not only that, his questions were easy, and he's very hesitant too. We cannot afford to keep him for the later rounds, so it's time for him to go.
Indeed it is. John, the 52-year-old police officer, who is seriously lacking general knowledge and intellect. You got all of your questions wrong in this round, and the team unanimously agrees that your performance was awful. It's now all over for you, John. With 7 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I'm very disappointed with myself that I didn't get any questions right in that round, and everyone will take the mick out of me when I get back. I think Richard is next to be voted off, because he's doing just as bad as I was.
Round 3. You've put in the bank £870. If you have been hitting your targets, it would be 2,000. You're down to 7 players. We're cutting another 10 seconds from the time. We'll start with the strongest link in the last round. And that's Francis. Let's play. The weakest link. Start the clock. Francis, compared to normal cats, a Manx cat has what body feature missing?
Its tail.
Correct, Richard. What P is the currency of Mexico?
Pass.
Peso. Karen, what kind of car was Herbie?
Volkswagen Beetle.
Correct, Sophie. In soccer, what does GK stand for?
Pass.
Goalkeeper. Christian, and superstitions, opening what inside is considered to be bad luck?
Umbrella.
Correct, Natalie. The professional tennis player Andy Murray was born in which country in the UK?
England.
Nope, Scotland. Gabriel Agatha Christie is famous for writing novels of which genre?
Crime.
Correct, Francis. Complete the title of the film directed by Kevin Costner. Dances with what?
Wolves.
Correct, Richard.
Bang.
In the expression when someone is lying, what kind of lies are they telling?
Porcupines.
Correct, Karen. The condition tinnitus affects which of the 5 senses?
Hearing.
Correct, Sophie. In the children's TV program and book series, what color was the giant dog Clifford?
Green?
No, Sophie. Red. Christian, how many oxygen atoms are in water?
1.
Correct, Natalie. Which country did the Emu War take place?
Australia.
Correct, Gabriel.
Bang.
In the 2006 Pixar Disney movie Cars, who voiced Lightning McQueen?
Was it Owen Wilson?
Correct, Francis. In video games, which game series has the letter abbreviation COD?
Call of Duty.
Correct, Richard.
Bang.
How many years are in 6 decades?
60.
Correct, Karen. Which kitchen appliance uses radiation to heat up food?
Microwave.
Correct, Sophie. Roger Moore, Sean Connery, and Daniel Craig played which fictional secret agent?
Pass.
No, Sophie. James Bond. Christian, in Greek mythology, who was the lord of the underworld and is also one of the brothers of Zeus?
Hades.
Correct, Natalie. In Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, what card suit was the queen?
Diamonds.
Nope, hearts. Gabriel, if you were to talk the talk, what else might you be doing?
Walk the walk.
Correct, Francis.
Bang.
Time's up. Your bank was in time. And you went from mediocre to now absolutely dreadful. You banked a pathetic amount of £170 in this round. Who's not using their brain? Who is just a complete waste of time? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
For the first time in the game, Gabriel is the strongest link, since he answered all of his questions correctly and banked some money for the team, with not a single correct answer. Sophie is the weakest link. But whose game is over?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Natalie.
Sophie.
Sophie.
Natalie.
Sophie.
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 Richard. What do you do?
I'm a lawyer.
And for how long have you been a lawyer?
For 9 years.
So being a lawyer for 9 years, would you consider to be a good one?
Oh yes. I would consider myself to be a fantastic lawyer.
Well, I'm not convinced yet. Because you have no idea what a peso is.
I know what a peso is, it's just I didn't know it was the currency of Mexico.
So the fact that the question said what P is the currency of Mexico wasn't obvious enough for you?
I guess not. I should have thought about it before I said pass.
Right. So Richard, why Sophie?
I think she had a really bad round. I believe she got all of her questions wrong in this round.
Astonishingly, you are correct, Richard. Because she didn't answer a single question correctly in this round. Christian, you said you recently graduated from university?
Yes. I graduated just over a year ago.
You weren't kidding when you said recently. How long have you been in university before you graduated?
Well, I first started university when I was 17, so it must have been nearly 5 years ago.
Since you've now graduated, what plans do you have for the future?
I'm planning on being a scientist, since I mainly focused on science subjects in university.
I see. Which science subject do you specialize in?
Definitely biology and microbiology. I do like the other subjects, but I know nearly everything about biology.
Is that so? You know, just like Gabriel said earlier, that he would answer all chemistry questions correctly. So would you answer all biology questions correctly then?
I don't see why not. I'm pretty confident that I would answer all biology questions correctly if they come up.
I'll take your word for it. So tell me, Christian, why have you voted for Sophie?
Because she was definitely the worst player in the round. I don't recall her getting any questions correct at all. And I can't believe she didn't get the question about James Bond, which is pretty obvious.
Sophie, who hasn't heard of James Bond? To be honest, I think it's a really good thing that you only work at the reception of the school, because you would be completely useless as a teacher due to the lack of knowledge you have. Well, it's time to go back to your job at the reception. With 5 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I'm completely embarrassed that I didn't get a single question correct in that round. My mind was completely blank. I hope Christian doesn't win, because he is far too overly confident that he would win and he doesn't deserve it.
Round 4. You barely made it to £1,000. You have in the bank £1,040 out of a possible £3,000. 6 of you left. We're cutting another 10 seconds from the time. You now only have 2.5 minutes. We'll start with the strongest link in the last round. And that's Gabriel. Let's play. The weakest link. Start the clock. Gabriel and Legend who rode through Coventry naked on a horse?
I can't remember.
Lady Godiva.
Oh, so it is.
Francis and Geography. Caracas is the capital of which South American country?
Venezuela.
Correct, Richard.
Bang.
Macaulay Culkin plays Kevin McAllister in which 1990 film?
Pass.
Home Alone. Karen in the comedy cartoon The Simpsons. What's the name of the family's dog?
Santa's Little Helper.
Correct, Christian. Which star sign is represented by a goat?
Capricorn.
Correct, Natalie. Which band had the song Stand and Deliver and Prince Charming?
I have no idea.
Adam and the Ants. Gabriel, which letters represents number 9 in Roman numerals?
IX.
Correct, Francis. In maths, what's 20% of 460?
92.
Correct, Richard.
Bang.
If A is Alpha and Z is Zulu, what is T?
Pass.
Tango. Karen, what color will you turn into if you have angry?
Green.
Correct, Christian. The RSPCA is associated to the well-being of what?
Animals.
Correct, Natalie. What kind of weapon is a cutlass?
It's a sword.
Correct, Gabriel. Kurt Cobain is the lead singer of which rock band?
Nirvana.
Correct, Francis. Who was the 43rd President of the United States?
George W. Bush.
Correct, Richard.
Bang.
Who was the author of the Book of Mice of Men?
Stephen King.
Nope, John Steinbeck. Karen, what sea is a mythical creature that has one eye?
Cyclops.
Correct, Christian. In which century did the gunpowder plot happen?
Is it the 17th century?
Correct, Natalie.
Bank.
In the Christmas song 12 Days of Christmas, how many geese were laying?
6.
Correct, Gabriel. In the children's book by Roald Dahl, the BFG, what does BFG stand for?
Big Friendly Giant.
Correct, Francis. In the 1970s TV sitcom Are You Being Served, John Inman plays which character?
Mr. Humphries.
Correct, Richard.
Bang.
Which film starring Arnold Schwarzenegger has the famous line, I'll be
The
back?
Terminator.
Correct,
Yes.
Karen. The Queen Vic is a fictional pub in which TV so. Time's up. I cannot complete the question. And you did slightly better in that round. You banked £520. But why not 1,000? Who keeps costing you money? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
For the second time in the game, Francis is the strongest link, since he answered all of his questions correctly. Richard is the weakest link, since he got the most wrong answers. But he did bank the most money in this round. Will that save him from the vote?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Richard.
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 Natalie.
Natalie.
Richard.
Natalie. Never heard of Adam and the Ants?
I think I've heard of them. They do sound very familiar. But I don't know any of their songs.
How good is your knowledge on music?
Music isn't my strongest subject. But I'm completely useless when it comes to any modern music, or just pop culture in general.
And why is that?
Because I'm simply just not interested in pop culture. I think it's just a load of rubbish if you ask me.
Well then, let's hope you don't get any pop culture questions. So Natalie, why Richard?
I'm pretty sure that he was the weakest link in this round, because he got a lot of his questions wrong, and I don't think he's been good overall in my opinion.
Weren't you aware that he banked the most money in that round though?
Yes, but I believe he's stopping us from reaching our target by getting too many wrong answers.
That's true, I suppose. Karen, remind us what you do.
I'm a sales manager.
How long have you been a sales manager?
For 5 years.
Do you like your job as a sales manager?
It's okay, not very exciting, but it's better than nothing.
True. Do you have any interests?
Well, I'm very interested in wildlife, because I like animals.
It's a pity you couldn't get a job related to that.
I know, but like I said, at least I have one, because it's better than no job at all.
Indeed. So Karen, why have you voted for Richard? Don't like him?
I don't have anything against him personally. I knew that he banked lots of money, but he did got 3 questions wrong in this round, and we can't afford lots of wrong answers in the later rounds. Sorry Richard, but you need to go.
Fair enough. Richard, the 46-year-old lawyer, who hasn't heard of Home Alone, and doesn't know the phonetic alphabet. Your favorite word seems to be pass, because that's what you've answered to the majority of your questions. Well, I guess it's time for you to go back to being a lawyer. With 4 votes, you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I'm a little frustrated that I got voted off in this round, because I was nearly the only one who was banking in that round, and it will definitely come back to haunt them. I think Natalie will be voted off next, because she has been seriously falling apart.
Round 5. You have in the bank £1,560 out of a possible 4,000. 5 of you left. We're cutting another 10 seconds from the time. We'll start with the strongest link in the last round. And that's Francis. Let's play. The weakest link. Start the clock. Francis, which 1990s Nickelodeon cartoon has the main character Tommy Pickles?
The Rugrats.
Correct, Karen. Which American holiday is celebrated on November 22nd?
Thanksgiving.
Correct, Christian. Which wrestling company has the annual event called the Royal Rumble?
WWE.
Correct, Natalie. The national flag of Wales features what red creature?
Lion?
Nope, dragon. Gabriel, which band that the songs Gimme Shelter Paint It Black and I Can't Get No Satisfaction?
Guns N' Roses?
Nope, the Rolling Stones. Francis in golf, what is the 19th hole referred as?
The bar.
Correct, Karen. What is the main religion in South America?
Judaism.
Nope, Christianity. Which 1992 film starring Charles Grodin that features a Saint Bernard dog?
Beethoven.
Correct, Natalie. In the Gregorian calendar, what month is 8 months after January?
October.
Nope,
Oh,
September.
for God's sake.
Gabriel, in chemistry, what element on the periodic table is represented by Pb?
It's lead.
Correct, Francis. Which sport would you score a touchdown?
American football.
Correct, Karen. What word can be used for a stomach virus and also another name for an insect?
Bug.
Correct, Christian. In the Jack and the Beanstalk, what animal does Jack trade for beans?
A cow.
Correct, Natalie. The children's TV program The Clangers was released in which decade?
The 80s.
Nope, the 60s. Gabriel, which superhero works for the Daily Bugle newspapers?
Pass.
Spider-Man. Francis, in the 1970s American TV program Dukes of Hazzard, what car is the General Lee?
Dodge Charger.
Correct, Karen. In the Mr. Men series, who had extremely long arms?
Pass.
Mr. Tickle. Christian, in video games, what does SNES stand for?
Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
Correct, Natalie. Who played Mark Renton in the 1996 film Trainspotting?
Ewan McGregor.
Correct, Gabriel. Time's up. Couldn't be bothered to bank, Gabriel. In fact, did any of you bother to bank in this round? Because you banked. Zero. Zilch. Absolutely. Nothing. Who's to blame for this hopeless performance? Who thinks saying the word bank is very difficult? It's time to vote off the weakest link.
For the first time in the game, Christian is the strongest link. The weakest link is Natalie, because she got the most wrong answers. But who will the team get rid of?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Natalie.
Gabriel.
Natalie.
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 Christian. Why didn't you bank in this round?
I was trying to wait for the chain to build up, and I didn't want to bank a low amount of money.
But instead of banking a low amount of money, you banked nothing.
I know, I feel very embarrassed that we didn't win any money in this round. But I'm sure we will bank in the next round, as we've learned from our mistakes.
I seriously doubt it. So Christian. Why Natalie? Do you think it's all her fault that you didn't win any money?
Not at all. I think it was all our faults that we didn't bank, including me. I voted for Natalie, because I think she was the weakest link. She got the most questions wrong out of all of us.
Francis. Have you forgotten to say bank?
No, but I'm annoyed that no one else did, because I was trying to build up the chain and bank more money.
Who do you think caused the team to bank no money?
Well, I certainly don't believe that it was me or Christian's fault, because we were the ones who were answering all our questions correctly. So I think it's the others who have got their questions wrong that caused the problem.
So it definitely wasn't your fault.
Like I said, I was getting all of my questions correct, so no, I don't believe it was my fault at all.
Okay then. So Francis. Why Natalie?
I voted for Natalie, because out of everyone who got their questions wrong, she got the most wrong, and we definitely can't afford it in the next round, so I think her time is up.
It sure is. Natalie, the 30-year-old nurse, who has no idea what the national flag of Wales looks like. Overall, you've got a lot of your questions wrong, and the team has certainly had enough of you. It's time to go back to being a nurse. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I'm so disappointed to be voted off in this round, but I guess someone had to go, and it had to be me. I think either Francis or Christian would win. I hope Christian does, because I think he deserves it more.
Round 6. After all of you not bothering to bank in the last round, you still have £1,560, which is very embarrassing, considering if you have used your brains, this could have been 5,000. 4 of you left. We're cutting another 10 seconds from the time. We'll start with the strongest link in the last round. And that's Christian. Let's play. The weakest link. Start the clock. Christian, what's the name of a person who has a strong urge to steal?
A kleptomaniac.
Correct, Gabriel.
Bank.
What is Declan's surname from the double act Ant and Dec?
I don't know.
Donnelly. Francis, which actor starred in the movies Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein?
Gene Wilder.
Correct, Karen. Which adult cartoon has the character Roger the Alien?
Family Guy.
Nope, American Dad. Christian, what kind of sandwich was mentioned in the song Down Under by Men at Work?
Ham sandwich.
No, Christian, a Vegemite sandwich.
Bank.
There's nothing to bank, Gabriel. How many rings feature on the Olympic flag?
6.
Nope, 5. Francis, which female singer had the song Can't Get You Out of My Head?
Kylie Minogue.
Correct, Karen.
Bank.
Which gemstone represents a 40-year wedding anniversary?
Sapphire.
Nope, Ruby. Christian, Alexander Armstrong hosts what TV game show?
Pointless.
Correct, Gabriel.
Bank.
Who voiced Thomas O'Malley in the 1970 Disney movie The Aristocats?
Pass.
Phil Harris. Francis, coconuts grow in what kind of tree?
Palm tree.
Correct, Karen. Which alcoholic spirit is Jack Daniels associated with?
Whiskey.
Correct, Christian.
Bank.
In geography, what's the capital of Kazakhstan?
Astana.
Correct, Gabriel.
Bank.
How many 20 pence pieces are in 6 pounds?
30.
Correct, Francis. What was the screen name of the actor and filmmaker Charlie Chaplin?
The Tramp.
Correct, Karen. Complete the name of this song by the Bangles. Walk Like a What?
Egyptian.
Correct, Christian.
Bank.
What deer is something that squirrels build?
Tree.
Correct, Gabriel.
Bank.
In food, which dessert shares its name with an American state?
Pass.
Baked Alaska. Time's up. And you actually bothered to bank in this round. A pity it's not impressive though. Because you only banked £250. Who's not worthy to continue? Who is extremely nervous? It's time to vote off. The weakest link.
For the third time in the game, Francis is the strongest link, since he was the only one to have answered all of his questions correctly. Gabriel is the weakest link, since he got most of his questions wrong. But who will be next to leave with nothing?
Voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Francis.
Francis.
Gabriel.
Francis.
Christian. Why have you voted for Francis?
Well, I believe that he's not much of a team player, because I noticed that he was the only one who didn't bank in this round, which isn't good, because it's vital to bank in the next round.
I see. Did you think he was the weakest link?
Kind of, because he's definitely the weakest at working as a team player.
Karen. Do you think that Francis was the weakest link in this round?
Yes, because I agree with Christian, You need to work as a team, especially when you have less time to bank and earn money, which he didn't bank at all in this round.
Well, you all are completely wrong. Because he was the strongest link in this round. And even if he did wanted to bank, he couldn't. Because a certain someone nearly got all of his questions wrong. Gabriel, do you know who that was?
Nope.
Here's a hint. He's the only one who is wearing a purple shirt today.
Oh no. Me?
Oh yes. You. You were by far the worst player in this round. But unfortunately, it's votes that count. Francis, you did really well in today's game. You didn't get a single question wrong, but I'm afraid the team got upset because you didn't bank in this round. Regardless that you couldn't bank anyway because of Gabriel. I am really sorry to say this, Francis. But you are the weakest link. Goodbye.
I'm absolutely livid that they would vote me off as the weakest link just because I didn't bank in the round, which is complete nonsense. They were scared that I would win it. I think Christian will win, but at the end of the day the only one who deserves that prize money is me.
Round 7. Out of the £6,000 you could have won by now, you banked a very measly £1,810. There are now only 3 of you left. And we still have Christian, who's graduated from university, Gabriel the university student, and Karen the sales manager. We're cutting another 10 seconds from the time you voted off the strongest link in the last round, so we'll start with the second strongest. And that's Christian. Let's play the weakest link. Start the clock. Christian, tic-tac-toe is another name for which game?
Is it noughts and crosses?
Correct, Gabriel.
Bank.
In politics, which party has a name meaning hard work?
Pass.
The Labour Party. Karen, what R and S are made from dried grapes?
Raisins.
I need the full answer.
Pass.
The correct answer is raisins and sultanas, Karen. Christian, who plays Dan Watts in the soap opera EastEnders?
I have no idea.
Wesley Grantham. Gabriel, in chemistry, which acid has the chemical formula H2SO4?
Sulfuric acid.
Correct, Karen.
Bank.
Which country was the female singer Celine Dion born?
USA.
Nope, Canada. Christian, which year in the 2010s did Japan have a giant tsunami?
2011.
Correct, Gabriel.
Bank.
Johnny Depp plays Jack Sparrow in what film?
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Correct, Karen.
Bank.
In the 1980s children's cartoon Danger Mouse, what's the name of his sidekick?
Pass.
Penfold. Christian, Phil Collins composed the music for what 1999 Disney movie?
Tarzan.
Correct, Gabriel.
Bank.
What H is one of the languages spoken in India?
Hindi.
Correct, Karen.
Bank.
If you were born in 1914, how old would you be this year?
114.
Even 104. Christian, what's the name of the television program that was hosted by the pop group S Club 7?
Pass.
Miami 7. Gabriel, what does the NHS stand for?
National Health Service.
Correct, Karen.
Bank.
What was the catchphrase of Victor Meldrew in One Foot in the Grave?
I don't believe it.
Time's up. That was the correct answer, but you were out of time. And your performance in that round was very disappointing. You only banked £140. Now in round 8 you get the chance to treble what you bank, so there's potentially £3,000 to be won. Who's not worthy to stay? Who will you hold on to in the final? However, the real question is, do you have the bravery and courage to vote off the weakest link?
For a reversal of fortune. Gabriel was the weakest link in the last round, but now the strongest in this. Karen is the weakest link, since she got the most wrong answers. But who will lose out in the final vote?
voting over, it's time to reveal who you think is the weakest link.
Karen.
Karen.
Gabriel.
Christian. Why Karen?
Well, I definitely didn't want to vote off the strongest link, which I knew it was Gabriel. I voted for Karen because she got more wrong than I did, and she was very hesitant too.
Alright. And Gabriel. Why have you voted for Karen?
I think it's quite a shame, because she did do well until her nerves got the better of her, and she was very unlucky in this round. And I knew she got more wrong than Christian. Sorry Karen, but I'm afraid you were the weakest link in this round, and you need to go.
Karen. You managed to make it to the final 3. But it looks like the pressure and nerves has gotten to you, and you can no longer keep up. It's time for you to go back to being a sales manager. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Well, I guess it was fair that I was voted off as the weakest link, because I did get a lot of questions wrong in this round, and my mind was mostly blank. I'm not sure who will win, because both Gabriel and Christian are good, and I wish them the best of luck.
Round 8. You have in the bank £1,950 out of a possible 7,000. Christian and Gabriel, just the two of you left. You now only have 90 seconds, but whatever you win will be trebled and added to your total winnings of the previous rounds. So there's £3,000 at stake. We'll start with the strongest link in the last round. And that's Gabriel. Let's play. The weakest link. Start the clock. Gabriel, in geography, Harare is the capital of which African country?
Zambia?
Nope, Zimbabwe. Christian, which member of One Direction left in 2015?
Don't know, pass.
Zayn Malik. Gabriel, who won I'm a Celebrity Get Me Out of Here in 2012.
Charlie Brooks.
Correct, Christian.
Bang.
Which band had the songs Every Morning Flying Words to Me?
Sugar Ray.
Correct, Gabriel.
Bang.
What kind of creatures are puffins?
Birds.
Correct, Christian.
Bang.
What was the name of the captain in the book Moby Dick?
Captain Ahab.
Correct, Gabriel.
Bang.
Which English soccer team does Eden Hazard play for?
Manchester United?
Nope, Chelsea. Christian, who plays the main character in The Nutty Professor?
Eddie Murphy.
Correct, Gabriel.
Bang.
Which children's TV program has a vacuum cleaner called Nunu?
I don't know.
The Teletubbies. Christian, in the 1994 Disney movie The Lion King, which actor voices adult Simba?
Pass.
Matthew Broderick. Gabriel, how many thieves are featured in the folktale Ali Baba?
40.
Correct, Christian. In language, what does the Spanish word nada mean in English?
Nothing.
Correct, Gabriel.
Bang.
In botany, what are plants that have a life cycle more than 2 years called?
Perennials.
Time's up. Perennials is the correct answer, and you were in time. And you banked £150. We'll treble that and add it to the total winnings of today. So that makes the total prize money of today of £2,400. But only one of you can take that money away. They'll now play against each other head-to-head. I'll ask alternating questions, best of 5. Whoever answers the most correctly wins. It's as simple as that. If there's a tie after 5, we'll go to sudden death until we have a winner. So Christian and Gabriel. For £2,400. Let's play. The weakest link. Christian, as the strongest link in the last round, you have the choice to who goes first.
I would like to go first, please.
Christian, what's the name of the TV show that aired in 2008 and hosted by Alex Zane that features viral videos?
I don't know.
The correct answer is RootTube. Gabriel, in history, which century did the Battle of Hastings began?
The 10th century.
The correct answer is the 11th century. Christian. How many zeros follow the number 1 quintillion?
22.
The correct answer is 18. Gabriel. In the Looney Tune cartoons, what's the name of the bird that the coyote tries to catch, but fails nearly every time?
Tweety?
No, the correct answer is the roadrunner. Christian. If someone was born on the 26th of September, what star sign would they be?
Sagittarius.
The correct answer is Libra. Gabriel. In television, Sharon Osbourne used to be a judge on which singing contest?
Pass.
The correct answer is the X Factor. Well, this is certainly going well. Both of you have failed to answer a single question correctly so far. Christian. What's the name of the American Olympic swimmer who is a 9-time Olympic champion and also won 7 gold medals?
Pass.
The correct answer is Mark Spitz. Gabriel. Which American band has Billy Joe Armstrong as its lead singer?
Black Sabbath.
No. The correct answer is Green Day. Gabriel. Christian. What is the 5th letter of the Greek alphabet?
Gamma.
No. The correct answer is Epsilon. Gabriel. If you answer this question correctly, which would be a miracle at this point, you have won. So for £2,400. In the comedy sitcom Red Dwarf, what is the name of the character played by Craig Charles?
I don't know.
The correct answer is Dave Lister. Well, that was just pathetic. After 5 questions each, both you haven't answered any questions correctly, which means we have a tie, so we go into a sudden death situation. The questions will continue in pairs. So Christian, if you get your question right, then Gabriel would have to answer his question correctly. Or else you win. And Christian get your question wrong, and if Gabriel gets his right, he wins. So, Christian and Gabriel, let's play sudden death. Christian. Which TV soap opera used to have the word farm in its title?
Hollyoaks.
The correct answer is Emmerdale. Gabriel. The car model Continental GT is made by which British car manufacturer?
Aston Martin?
No, the correct answer is Bentley. Christian. Which actor would you associate the fictional character Dr. Hannibal Lecter?
Don't know.
The correct answer is Anthony Hopkins. Gabriel. Marie Curie was the first ever woman to win which prize?
The Nobel Prize.
That's the correct answer. That means, Gabriel, you are today's strongest link and you go away with £2,400. Christian. You leave with nothing. Join us again for the weakest link. Goodbye.
I'm so shocked and happy that I won the weakest link. I didn't expect to win at all.
I got to say, fair play to Gabriel, because it was a very even competition in the final round, and he won fair and square.
The experience has been amazing, and I can't wait to go and spend my prize money.